Ever wondered why so many young people, full of potential and energy, seem to struggle with a cloud of despair called depression? Depression is a reality that many young adults face, often silently. It's a mental health issue that can feel like an uphill battle, a never-ending cycle of gloom, and a constant struggle to find joy. The World Health Organization says that depression is one of the leading causes of illness and disability among adolescents worldwide. And it's more than just feeling blue or having a bad day. Let's take a look at a young lad named Alex. He's a typical young adult, full of dreams, brimming with talent, and ready to take on the world. But there's a heaviness that Alex carries with him, an invisible burden that's hard to shake off. He's been dealing with depression. Depression can manifest itself in various ways. For Alex, it's a constant feeling of hopelessness. It's losing interest in things he once loved, struggling to get out of bed every morning and finding it hard to connect with people around him. It's the persistent feeling of worthlessness that gnaws at him, even when he's achieved something great. It's the inexplicable tears that well up in his eyes in the quiet moments when he's alone. But here's the thing. Depression is not a character flaw or a sign of weakness. It's a real and serious health condition that affects the body, mood, and thoughts. It's not something that Alex or anyone else can just snap out of. Depression is often misunderstood, stigmatized, and brushed under the carpet. But it's essential to acknowledge its existence, to understand its signs and symptoms, and to know that it's okay to ask for help. Depression is a journey. It's a journey filled with dark tunnels and steep climbs, but it's also a journey filled with potential for growth, understanding, and empathy. For Alex, and many like him, the journey through depression is far from easy. But it's a journey that can lead to a new dawn. Depression, as Alex would tell you, doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow descent into a world of darkness and despair. Alex, a bright and outgoing young man, gradually found himself pulled into an abyss of melancholy. His life, once vibrant and full of promise, began to change almost imperceptibly at first. His passion for painting, a hobby he once relished, began to wane. His brushstrokes, once bold and colorful, became hesitant and dull, mirroring his internal turmoil. Depression, like an unwelcome guest, began to make its presence felt in every facet of his life. His relationships, once brimming with love and laughter, started to bear the brunt of his inner struggle. His friends noticed his increasing withdrawal. His family, though concerned, mistook his silence for the transient mood swings of youth. His girlfriend, unable to comprehend the transformation, felt helpless and lost. His self-perception, too, began to shift. Alex, who was once confident and self-assured, started doubting his worth. He felt like a burden, a misfit in his own life. He began to view himself through a distorted lens, magnifying his flaws while diminishing his strengths. His world, once filled with limitless possibilities, seemed to shrink, confining him within its oppressive walls. Depression is often misunderstood as mere sadness, but it's more akin to living in a perpetual state of twilight, where everything seems muted and joy feels like a distant memory. It's the constant companion that whispers discouraging words, sowing seeds of self-doubt and despair. It's the invisible chain that binds, the heavy cloak that suffocates. But even as Alex descended deeper into the clutches of depression, he wasn't alone. His family, though initially bewildered, began to recognize the signs. They rallied around him, their love and concern a beacon in his dark world. But even in the darkest night, a single spark can ignite the path to recovery. And for Alex, that spark was the unwavering support of his family, their determination to pull him back from the precipice, their belief in his strength to overcome the darkness. But that's a story for the next scene. For every person dealing with depression, there comes a turning point. For Alex, it was the realization that he needed help. The moment of clarity wasn't immediate, like a light flicking on in a dark room. It was a slow, creeping dawn, a gradual understanding that something needed to change. Alex had been sinking, but he wasn't ready to drown. He reached out for the first time, extending a hand to those who had been standing by, waiting to help. It's crucial to understand that reaching out is not a sign of weakness, but a moment of immense courage. It is the first step in saying, "I am not okay, but I want to be." It is an admission that sometimes we can't do it all on our own, and that's okay. We're not meant to. Alex's family and friends, those who had watched him struggle, were there in an instant, ready to support him. They didn't have all the answers, but they had something equally important: love, patience, and the willingness to walk alongside him in his journey. But the role of professionals in the recovery process is equally crucial. They have the expertise and the tools to help navigate the complexities of depression and can guide us towards better days. Therapists, counselors, psychiatrists, they are lifelines in the tempestuous sea of mental health. Alex started attending therapy, and with the help of his therapist, he began to understand his emotions better. He learned that depression is not a life sentence, just a chapter in his book of life. With therapy, good food, and healthy habits, Alex started to feel hope again. He started to realize that there was a world beyond the fog of his depression, a world where he could laugh, live, and love again. He started to see that depression was not his defining characteristic, but merely a hurdle he had to overcome. And this is the turning point. The moment where depression is no longer a giant monster looming over us, but a challenge to be faced head-on. Reaching out for help is the first step towards recovery, but the journey doesn't end there. The road to recovery is neither straight nor smooth, but for Alex, it was a road worth traveling. Imagine a series of stepping stones, each one representing a different aspect of recovery. These stones are not laid out in a straight line, but scattered unevenly, sometimes hidden. Each stone Alex stepped on brought him closer to a healthier life. The first step was therapy. Alex started attending weekly sessions with a mental health professional. Therapy was not a quick fix, but rather, it was like taking a flashlight into a dark room. It helped Alex explore the corners of his mind, understand his feelings, and gave him the tools to navigate his emotional landscape. The second step was medication. Now, medication isn't always the answer, but for Alex, it was an essential part of his recovery process. It was like a safety net, catching him when he fell and giving him the strength to get back up again. Then came good nutrition. Alex realized that his body was a temple, and he needed to treat it as such. He started eating balanced meals rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Good food became his fuel, giving him the energy to face each day and the nutrients to heal his mind. Healthy habits were the next step on Alex's journey. He discovered the power of a good night's sleep, regular exercise, and time spent outdoors. He found joy in reading books, listening to music, and spending time with loved ones. These habits became his anchors, grounding him in the present and helping him build a future. Finally, Alex learned the importance of patience and self-compassion. Recovery is not a race, and it's okay to stumble, to have bad days. But it's also important to celebrate small victories, to recognize progress, and to be kind to oneself. After all, we're all works in progress, aren't we? Recovery isn't about going back to how things were before. It's about building a new, healthier life. For Alex, this road was not easy, but each step brought him closer to the dawn of a new day. And that, my friends, is the beauty of the road to recovery. Depression is a journey that can lead to a new dawn, a life full of hope and potential. This statement captures the essence of Alex's journey. It's a testament to the fact that depression, as debilitating as it can be, is not a life sentence. After his recovery, Alex's life underwent a profound transformation. He was no longer the withdrawn, hopeless individual we met at the beginning of his journey. He was now an embodiment of resilience, a beacon of hope. He found joy in the simplest things, a laugh shared with friends, a good meal, a morning jog. He was no longer surviving, he was thriving. But this transformation didn't happen overnight. It was the result of a long, often arduous journey. A journey that required ongoing mental health care, the unwavering support of his family and friends, and most importantly, his willingness to seek help and make a change. The notion of ongoing mental health care is crucial. Just as a broken bone needs time and care to heal, so does the mind. Regular therapy sessions, medication if necessary, and maintaining healthy habits are all part of this healing process. It's not about fixing the person, but rather helping them build the tools and resilience to navigate life's ups and downs. But what does this new dawn look like? It looks like hope. It looks like potential. It looks like a life not defined by depression, but rather informed by it. It's about understanding that it's okay not to be okay sometimes, and that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. And for every Alex out there, know this: you are not alone. There is help available, there is hope, and there is a new dawn waiting for you. It might not feel like it right now, but the darkness will pass and the sun will rise again. Depression is a dark cloud, but with the right help and support, every young person can find their new dawn.